Hey YouTube, I just want to share a dream I had about a month and a half ago, or maybe it was 2 months ago, where I was talking to someone. I figured out where this dream was. Um, this was my Chicago invasion dream when Russia and China invaded. So when the dream started, I was on the sidewalk and I was an African American man, probably like 6 foot something, probably 6'5", really strong, and I had a pistol with an extended mag, and I was on the sidewalk. And I was by that river that runs through Chicago in the city, and there was the little like bridges that just go over the like river that runs through the city. And in front of me in the street was just people running in the street with their guns, AR pistols, Dracos, and a Draco. It's like a mini AK-47. The pistols, like whatever they had, they're running out of their apartments. I saw U.S. military soldiers in the streets, special forces. Um, then down the street was Russian trucks just speeding like super fast at us, and they were slamming on the brakes, and you just hear the screeching, just and yeah, in this dream, we were fighting the Russians in Chicago. We were being invaded, and there were sirens going off, and there's a Delta Force soldier, some sort of special forces soldier on the sidewalk, and I thought he was dead. And everyone was fighting around me. My ears were ringing, and people were shooting at the Russian invaders, the soldiers, and the Chinese. And this soldier that was on the ground, he was disoriented because the car blew up not long before I arrived, and I was looking at him. And I was also looking at this Russian Typhoon K that was coming straight at us. He was really speeding. They were just like driving around the corners, almost drifting, just going fast down the streets. The invaders were, and we were fighting them off, and they were shooting at us. And I was thinking in the dream as my ears were ringing, looking at this American soldier, like, I was like, is he dead? Should I help him up? And then I saw that truck coming at me real fast, a Russian Typhoon K. It's like a more modern truck. And I started shooting at the glass where the driver's head was on the truck, so I could kind of block out what he was seeing. If I put bullet marks on his glass window, it would kind of blind his vision of like what he's seeing. And as soon as those soldiers started single filing out of that truck, that special forces soldier got back up with his gun. He started shooting, and then more people behind us were sprinting down the sidewalk straight at the soldiers, shooting at them. And there was even more trucks coming around the corner, and Humvees in the street going right at the Russians. And there was helicopters in the sky, shooting at the streets, shooting at the buildings. The buildings were on fire. Um, There's tons of dead Americans in the street, tons of dead Russians. The vehicles were on fire. There was stuff blown up. There was those like air raid nuclear sirens going off. Oh my gosh. It was like, oh my gosh. It was so crazy. And yeah, there was like gangsters in the street like shooting these people. They didn't even care. They were running out straight in front of the vehicles. As soon as the soldiers got out, they shot them. And there was people running the street grabbing the soldiers' guns and using their own guns against them. It was like Red Dawn. I mean, it was like, but on another level, like on another level. But the second part of the dream, um, I was seeing an aerial shot. I saw a Russian Mi-24 Hind attack helicopter flying, and it was like tilted down like this, firing missiles at people, and then it came back, it tilted back up and it was firing at buildings. There was this one really tall building that I saw, and what came around the building was a American Apache helicopter. It swooped around the building, and it was up higher than the Russian helicopter. It came around the building real fast, and it shot down the Mi-24 Hind. Now the thing about the Mi-24 Hind, the Russian helicopter, It's really big. It's really fast, but it's really big and heavy. It can't really maneuver like the American Apache. The American Apache is lighter, smaller. Um, it can't go as fast as the Russian helicopter in a straight line, but can maneuver. It can literally do like loop de loops, like go like do a loop de loop, but the Russian helicopter can't. But the American helicopter went over around the building out of nowhere and came above the Russian helicopter and shot it down with a missile, and it just went poof, and then it hit the ground like where the sidewalk and the road is, and it burst in flames, and it was like it's almost like hell. I hate to say it, but like this was crazy. Out of all the dreams I've had, this was like the craziest one, like ever. But that Russian truck I saw in my dream, the the stuff on the truck, it's like the ones you see at the parades in was it Moscow? The Russian army parades. It was like the same one that they would use in the parade, but it was being used in war. It had the writing on it, like Russian writing. It's the one I saw in a video before. It was like the same one that was coming at me in the dream. And there was dead bodies everywhere. Like everywhere. Helicopters everywhere. Jets going over. Just people dying. People shooting. Like there was not like... It was so loud. So loud. But if you're in Chicago, I would not recommend staying there. Just based on what I saw, there was tanks in the streets, vehicles in the streets, troops everywhere, civilians shooting. Like this was crazy. Honestly, it's not worth it staying there. It's really not. But Chicago is gonna be just utter chaos. Um, but that was my Chicago invasion dream, and I was like right by the like river that runs through Chicago, right by a bridge, and by tall buildings, and there's just people on the sidewalk just fighting, and that was it.